now locked in to the Sounds Like Fun podcast.
It don't matter underground or the mainstream. We taking over everything, American dreams. Make a move, long nights to the light beams. Urban Stone, we the motherfucking A-team. I go crazy on this track, man.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another episode of the Sounds Like Fun podcast. I am your host, Serial Sensei. As always, you can catch the Sounds Like Fun podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud, but it is also under my Dojo Talk podcast SoundCloud page, which is pretty much the hub for everything I do. That podcast covers combat sports, mixed martial arts, and as well as I put my album review episodes on there as well, so you can listen to that on SoundCloud, YouTube. Sounds Like Fun has its own separate YouTube page. It's on Spotify, Google Play, all that good stuff. You type in Dojo Talk podcast, type in Serial Sensei, you'll find me in all of the podcasts, whether they're music related or fight related. You'll find them. I'm out here in the. I do good in the Google search, actually. If you type in Serial Sensei in the Google search, I'm up there. You see my little face and my thumbs up pose. So, you know, you can find me out here in these internet streets, so to speak. Real quick, before I get started with this review, just a quick little mini announcement. If you've been following me, you know that I have a book out called the Oddball Chronicles, which you can get for the very cheap price of 99 cents on Amazon. Now I'm on Barnes & Nobles and a bunch of other digital outlets. But I released a series of podcasts leading up to the release of the book entitled Road to the Oddball Chronicles. I did 4 episodes, and I actually do plan on releasing a 5th episode that'll kind of close out the series, but I'm not releasing it quite yet because I have one more thing that I'm kind of working on. Don't want to give it away, but I don't like to make announcements until things are official. But I have one more quick thing that I'm working on, and then I'll probably put out a last episode of Road to the Oddball Chronicles, just kind of detailing updates on the book, other projects I've been working on, other things I got going on, all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. As far as the Sounds Like Fun podcast, I'm going to try to do Jid's DiCaprio 2 next week. I'm going to try. I can't make you guys any promises because I got a lot going on with doing this podcast, trying to keep up with music, and doing the Dojo Talk podcast, keeping up with fights, which is the end of the year, so everybody's squeezing in a fight card. There's going to be a lot to talk about this month. So, but I'm going to try to squeeze in Jid's DiCaprio 2 review. And then after DiCaprio 2, if you don't hear from me that next week, it's probably because I'm going to start gearing up for my favorite 20 albums of the year, because it's December, pretty much winding down. I don't know, I might hold out because some people drop surprise projects at the end of the year. But to be honest, man, this year's been so jam-packed with music, man. If you're dropping around December 25th or 28th, you know, that last stretch of December, I don't know if you want to make this list, bro, because there's a lot of stiff competition this year. There's been a ton of albums. So many I still haven't even listened to. So it's going to be hard for anybody to break in this top 20 list if you putting out an album like that last week of December. But if you don't hear from me next week, if I don't do another solo review next week, I'm probably just gearing up for my top 20 of the year. So don't be alarmed. I'll be back. Just going to kind of take me a while to figure out that list, because to be honest, outside of my top, I think my top 3 to 4 are pretty solidified. Everything after that is free for all. It's a melee. No, I don't know who's gonna make it and who won't. But so I just wanted to get that announcement out real quick. So yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all the other stuff I've been doing. We will get straight into this album. So the album I will be reviewing today is Streams of Thought Volume 2. This comes from Black Thought, legendary MC, the Roots crew. If you don't know who Black Thought is, I don't even know why you're listening to this podcast, but Black Thought, man, from the Roots, been in the game for decades. This is his second solo effort this year. He has Streams of Thought Volume 1 that was produced by Ninth Wonder, which came out probably not even a few months ago. So he's following up pretty quick. I was excited when I heard he was doing a part 2. I was just ready. Black Thought hasn't had any missteps. Streams of Thought Volume 1 was greatness, even though it was very short. And this album's kind of the same. But, it's Black Thought, man. He came through on Volume 1. He gave us a lot of great bars and just lines on lines, just showing how great of a rapper he is. So I was ready to see what Part 2 was going to bring, ready to see if it was going to be any different. So I'll just get into the album. The album is produced by Salaam Remi. If you don't know who Salaam Remi is, he's also like Black Thought. He's been in the game for a minute on the production tip. He's produced for people, a very wide variety of people. Shabba Ranks, The Fugees, Nas, Amy Winehouse, Jurassic 5, Jasmine Sullivan, Big Boy from Outkast. He's produced a lot of reggae artists, a lot of R&B artists, as well as hip-hop artists. So he's pretty much covered the full gamut of production. Really, really talented producer. So I was interested to see how he and what he and Black Thought would come up with. And when they dropped the single Conception for this album, my hopes got really, really high because listening to Conception, just the way like that song is produced with that lovely Marvin Gaye sample, but just like the content and the way just that song was produced, it gave me a complete different vibe from Volume 1. Like Streams of Thought Volume 1 to me was kind of like, let me let y'all know I can rap. I mean, like, y'all know that I can rap, but I'm going to let y'all know that I can rap. Because, like, I do this. And I felt like hearing Conception from Volume 2, it sounded like it had more, it was going to be heavier. Like, it was going to be more content focused. Not saying that he still wouldn't have bars, but it to me, that song made me think, like, this album's going to have, there's going to be something there. Like, it's going to have some more, like, feeling to it, I guess, so to speak. And I definitely got that listening to this album. Like, it was the first thing that caught my ear, which I'll just get into the production, because that was the first thing that grabbed me. Salaam's production, as soon as I tuned the album on, definitely drew me in. Compared to Volume 1, and I'm only comparing them because the first one's called Streams of Thought Volume 1. So, but I don't want to keep comparing them, but he just dropped the project, so I kind of feel like it's just going to be a thing. I'm just going to be comparing them, but they're definitely, to me, I feel like they're not completely different projects, but at the same time, they're completely different projects. Like, Volume 2 has some of the same elements as Volume 1, I think, in terms of lyrics, but it's still different. Like, Salaam Remi's style, to me, for Volume 2, like, this to me has a, like, it feels different. Like, I get more feeling out of this. Like, it's really soulful, it's funky, it's literally lively, because he uses a lot of live instrumentation, from drums to nice funky bass lines and grooves he's got going on, horns going on in the background. Like, this album just has a really live feel to it, and like I said, it's just, it almost reminds me of, some of these instrumentals remind me of like instrument or instrumentation you would hear in like the background of like a like a blaxploitation movie, or a specific song I'll get into in a few seconds. I'll just jump into it, man. The song Streets on here, that joint sounds like a HBCU like halftime song. Like, when them horns kick in and them drums are just banging, and it just sounds really bold and loud, and I'm like, I love this, because this to me it just has so much feeling to it, so much like oomph to it. Like I said, I feel like Volume 1 to me was like just some hip hop, like some head nodding, I can just kind of spit, like those kind of instrumentals. This to me was like, I'm gonna give y'all some feeling. Y'all gonna feel these beats. So Salaam did a great job on these instrumentals, and they were like pretty diverse in giving you a lot of different vibes. Like I said, the song Streets, really bold, just probably my favorite beat on the album, just just loud and horns going off. Just sounds real bold and triumphant. Then you get tracks like the single Conception, which is kind of a bit more stripped back, very, very soulful. The track History Unfolds, that nasty, like grungy, I don't know if it's a bass or guitar or what that is, but I love like that, just that grungy, funky bass in the instrumental on that one. So he gives you a lot of, he gives you a good variety of looks, but it all fits Black Thought, and it really just enhances what Black Thought is doing. Because I think Black Thought's content was a bit more lyrically heavy on this, the instrumentals definitely played to that. So salutes to Salaam Remi on the production. It's really great pretty much throughout this project. Like I said, you get a lot of different looks, but you feel the liveliness, you feel that live instrumentation. It really hits, and it fits really well with what they were trying to execute. And I mean, as far as Black Thought, he Black Thought gone Black Thought. Like like the man is a rapper's rapper. But like I said, what I enjoyed about this project, at least to me, I felt like compared to Volume 1, this wasn't just like rapping to just like kind of rap. Like he definitely, I mean, there was some bars. He was getting off, but there was definitely some content also on this album. He definitely, on certain songs, you could tell like they had themes, and he had like certain images and things that he wanted to convey. I guess just to get into a few examples. So the track oh god, sorry, I'm scrambling over my notes because I wrote a good amount for this album, man. There was a lot going on. But like I said, it was very, very lyrically focused. The first song that, I'm gonna say the first song that really hit me, but one song that definitely stood out just in terms of content was How to Hold a Chopper. And that song, Black Thought's really going into kind of like the war, like the battle that blacks have been facing for generations and continue to face in America. And he kind of talks about how some of us are, I don't know, like we're lost in the war. Some people are unaware that it's going on, or some people just aren't really prepared to fight it or fight back. I love the line, they still walk around blind to the conquest. They haven't really realized what the time's yet. No due process. The price is no object. When sentences match the crime, they do not yet. It's been a war on the heavily melanated. For your own security, you better be educated. He just, lines like that, man. He really goes in on that song, just kind of painting the image of like this battle that, you know, black people have been facing and continue to face. And, you know, he's trying to be a part of it, but he's looking around and realizing like it's a long road ahead. Like it's going to be a lot of work to do, because some of us are like, we got to really be geared up. We got to protect ourselves out here, because it ain't sweet. It definitely ain't sweet out here. The opening track, Fentanyl, where he kind of hones in on like the opioid crisis, the drug crisis, I guess you would call it, going on in America, and, you know, draws parallels to that with, you know, what's happening in the real world with other things he's seen, and how like the drugs are kind of like tied into that. On the track No Conception, which was the single, one of probably the more self-reflective tracks on the album, he really unpacks a lot of like emotion and turmoil and like just self-doubt and like his inner thoughts of like what he's going through. So I really, that's another reason just why that track to me is one of my favorites, or probably my favorite track, aside from it just having that Marvin Gaye sample. Like the content on that track I thought was pretty heavy, and just really, he did a really good job being descriptive and reflective in that song. But of course, man, it's Black Thought, so you're gonna get bars, you're gonna get lines. And like I said, while I think this album is good with content, of course you're gonna get tracks and moments where he's just kind of flexing. Like he's giving y'all bars, and it's just kind of not even fair how good he is. I love the track Long Liveth. Child rhymers don't come at the old timers, whether your fan base is Lil Mamas or Obamas. How you claim to have something in check with no commas. You and Mary got the same request as no drama. I'm the pinnacle of language, yes, the Dalai Lama. And then he just keeps going and going. I just wrote that little part, but the man, he got bars for days. That's no question. On the song Streets, which I've mentioned a bunch of times already, I love the quick subtle line that I didn't catch until I actually read the lyrics. Where he said disaster level 9/11 meets the 11/9, catastrophe beyond incredible. I redefine the seventh sign. I was like, ooh. And in case you didn't get the reference, 9/11, 11/9. 11/9 was the day Trump. I don't know if that was actually, I think Trump officially got elected on the 8th. Or at least that's the day the votes were counted. Which either way, whatever. I get what he was trying to say. 9/11, of course, you know what 9/11 is. 11/9, the day Trump got elected. Catastrophe beyond incredible. I redefined the seventh sign, referring to pretty much like the Bible and the end of times. That's how much of a beast he is. If you get the point. But the man lyrically just flexing, and still, man, penmanship is never a question with him. Pinpoint flows. He never misses a beat. He sounds like he could just flow for days on end, and he would just never get tired. And no matter the pace of the beat or what's going on in the instrumental, whether it's loud and abrasive or if it's more subdued, he just always seems to fit perfectly. I've never heard on this project or any Black Thought project or verse or rhyme or anything, he never feels out of place. He can literally pull off anything. Yeah, man, he just the man's great. I don't know what else to say. I love how balanced this album is. Like I said, you get tracks with content, but then you get tracks like Streets and Long Liveth, even the New Grit, where it's some tracks he's just barring you up. And I think my only complaint is a lot of these songs. I feel like the only song that sounded, I don't even say long, probably normal length, was Conception. A lot of these songs are maybe just one or two verses. Some of them are just one verse, and it's kind of over. Some of these tracks only run about a minute 30, 2 minutes. So it's kind of a quick in and out, but it's just, even in that minute, it's so potent. It's so, he drives the point home. He doesn't waste time. He comes in, he gives you bars, he gives you, like I said, he just displays excellent penmanship no matter what song or topic he's trying to cover, and then he gets in and then he gets out. And it happens really quick. I don't have the runtime for this album, but like I said, it's only 9 songs. I'm pretty comfortable saying this album is under 30 minutes. Probably about 20, I would say, between maybe 20 and 25. But there aren't any tracks on this album I don't like. From 1 through 9, it was kind of hard to pick favorites because literally I like all of this album. So it was really hard to pick favorites, but like I said, to me, this is just a different feel from Volume 1. Volume 2 to me is, I think Black Thought really had things on his mind. He had more to say in terms of content. Like I said, some of this is reflective, whether it be reflective on himself or observations he's making about the world and his surroundings and just things he's seen, and all of that just tied up over this great Salaam Remi production. It just all comes together really, really well. And I didn't even mention some of these other tracks. Well, I'll get into my favorites, and then we'll go from there, because I could just keep on talking. But favorite tracks, definitely Conception, probably my favorite track, which is the single. Just that Marvin Gaye sample, it just adds something to that track and just kind of takes it to the next level. Love the beat. Shout outs to Reek Ruffin, who I think did the hook. And like I said, Black Thought's content, just like I said, it was really heavy, really reflective. Just a lot of lines in there. And this actually has a music video that's pretty dope too, if you guys want to check that out. But Conception, definitely a favorite, man. Love that beat. Love Black Thought's flow. That track is just I wish, part of me wishes the whole album sounded like that. Because to me, that it was a good closer. Because that album, or that song, had a bit more, it was a certain just vibe that song had. Like, that was like Black Thought, like in his blues, like Black Thought singing the blues. But I don't know, it was something about that song. I kind of wish the whole album sounded like that, because it was so much just soulfulness and feeling in that song. But Conception, definitely a favorite. History Unfolds, like I said, that nasty, grungy bass line. Love just the beat on that. And definitely, he has some lines on here. He was definitely flexing on this one. Whoa, a lot of rappers is rolling in fear, trotter. They fall from rock solid, they soldiers terracotta. Of my philosophy, I'm the father like Aristotle. I will put an end to your whole saga. You Harry Potters is soft. And then he just goes and goes. Just bars on bars on bars. I didn't even write this track down, but now that I'm looking at it, Get Outlined is another favorite song. I just really like the groove on the track, that bass groove, that I love that beat. And then you get like a nice little breakdown at the end of that song. So that was a favorite. Streets is probably my second favorite song on here. Like I said, that beat is so mean. That beat is so mean and nasty. Shout out to Tish Hyman. She sounded great on the hook. And Black Thought, like I said, some of his hardest bars were on that song. And it's just, that beat is just, like I said, that's some Grambling State halftime. We about to bring the band out and we about to tear the stadium down kind of beat. I really, really, really love that instrumental. So yeah, that's definitely a favorite. Probably my second favorite. How to Hold a Chopper is another favorite. Like I said, I really just enjoyed the content, and I like how that instrumental, it's kind of one of the more laid back kind of, I don't say laid back, but it's a bit more subdued and like gentle than the other beats. It kind of reminds me of like if that instrumental was in the movie, or in a movie I should say, it would be like the prelude to when like something big is about to go down, and this is like the instrumental that plays before like the big scene. Like this is the beat that plays when they're like reflecting on the big plan before they got to go execute. Something like that. That's kind of what that beat made me think of. But I enjoyed that instrumental because it was a little, I wouldn't say less going on, because it had a lot of live instrumentation in it, but everything was it was a little more quiet. And I think that was because like Black Thought's content on that track was a bit more, I guess, like heavy. So kind of that stripped back beat kind of let him do his thing, and you could really focus on what he was saying, and you don't have to worry about, a bunch of instrumentals kind of clashing in on him, and you can't really get the feel for what's going on. But nah, man, that's definitely a favorite. I mean, that's pretty much half the album. Like I said, it's only 9 songs, but there aren't any bad songs on here. Soundtrack to Confusion is dope. I think I mentioned Long Liveth. The New Grit is dope. History Unfolds, dope. All of these are good songs. I have nothing bad to say about any of these. This to me is a more mature Black Thought project. Like, this isn't just I'm rapping to let y'all know I can rap. This is, I have some things on my mind, and I'm gonna let them out. But I'm gonna still let y'all know I can rap though. Like, don't get it twisted. You still gonna get these bars. But I think like he had ideas and just things on his mind that he kind of wanted to flush out, and Salaam Remi gave him the perfect instrumentals to, I guess, like, I feel like these beats had to have just brought this out of him. Like, he just heard some of these beats, and they just kind of took him, and he just went wherever the beat took him. That to me feels like what happened. When I hear these instrumentals and I hear what he's saying over these beats, I feel like this was a very organic process, And when he heard some of these instrumentals, like, they just kind of spoke to him, and he just kind of, he just kind of did his thing. But nah, man, Streams of Thought Volume 2, this joint is fire. I really enjoyed this project. Only complaint is how short it was and how short some of the songs were. If we're gonna get a Streams of Thought Volume 3 or just another Black Thought project in general, I would love for it to be, give me like that solid 12 songs, maybe 12, 13. 12 is good. I think 12 is that's a good medium. Give me a good 12 songs. Keep this kind of production. I love this. Him and Salaam, I think, have something. I wouldn't mind hearing them do another project together. And like I said, just a few more tracks. Maybe make some of them a bit longer. And just keep these kind of ideas, though, because I really like a lot of what he's talking about on this album. A lot of the topics and things that he dived into, while also keeping the bars, keeping the bars consistent, keeping them at that Black Thought level, that elite that elite pen game level. But nah, man, Streams of Thought Volume 2, salutes to Black Thought, man. Legendary MC, pretty much just once proven again why people hold him in such high regard. Salaam Remi, salutes for amazing production, great live instrumentation, giving this album a great just soundscape overall. Give this joint a listen. I will leave a link below so you can check out the conception video. I think you can actually listen to this album on the Roots YouTube page. I'm sorry if you guys heard that loud notification. But I think the Roots pretty much have like the whole album. They have it listed as an EP, so I guess it's actually an EP. But you can listen to this on the official Roots YouTube channel. They have the whole album on a playlist. Like I said, it's a quick listen, man. You'll get in and out. Most of these songs don't even go over like 2 minutes. So you get in, get out, get you some great bars, some good content, great instrumental backdrop. This is hip hop in its finest form, pretty much. This is Black Thought doing what Black Thought does, just continuously being amazing with every step of the way. The man hasn't lost a step. If anything, he's gotten better, which is scary. But that's all I got, man, because other than that, I would just be talking in circles. But this is just a really good album or EP. Give it a listen. Support dope art. Support dope artists. Black Thought, Streams of Thought Volume 2. Go check it out. That's all I got for today. Hopefully I'll catch you guys next week. So until next time, it has been another episode of the Sounds Like Fun podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei, and I will catch you guys later.